Imagine this. You wake up, your eyes barely open, and the first thing your hand reaches for is your phone. You already feel that little rush of excitement in your chest. You're expecting a message, maybe a good morning, maybe a reply from last night. You open the screen, and there's nothing. No notification, no reply, just silence. You tell yourself, maybe they're busy, so you wait. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, still nothing. Last night you were laughing together, sharing stories, sending voice notes. It felt easy, it felt natural, it felt real. And now, it's like that person vanished from the face of the earth. No goodbye, no explanation, no closure, just a digital ghost. Your mind starts racing. Did I say something wrong? Did I come on too strong? Did I get too attached? Was I not good enough? You refresh the chat again and again. You check their profile. They're still there. They're active, but they're not talking to you. That tight feeling in your chest, that's not imagination. That's emotional pain. That's what being ghosted feels like. And if this has ever happened to you, don't move. Don't skip. Because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why people disappear without a word, what's really happening inside their mind, and how you can protect your heart from ever being shattered like this again. Welcome to PsychoScope, where we decode human behavior, emotions, and relationships, so you can finally stop blaming yourself for other people's actions. If you've ever been ghosted, take 1 second and hit the like button. And if you want more psychology-based content that helps you understand people and protect your emotional peace, subscribe to PsychoScope right now. You're not alone here. Now let me tell you something most people never realize. Ghosting is not confidence. Ghosting is not strength. Ghosting is not maturity. Ghosting is avoidance. It is emotional weakness disguised as silence. In today's world, disappearing is easier than explaining. Blocking is easier than communicating. Ignoring is easier than taking responsibility for someone else's feelings. And that's why ghosting has become so common. Let me tell you a real story. A guy named Alex met a girl on Instagram. It started simple. A reply to a story, a joke, a laugh. Then conversations started getting longer. Night talks, voice notes, deep questions. She told him she felt understood. She said she hadn't connected with someone like this in a long time. For 3 weeks, they talked every single day. Then one night, Alex sent a message. She saw it. She didn't reply. He waited. Next morning, he sent another message. Seen, no reply. A day passed, 2 days, a week. She never blocked him. She never explained. She never said goodbye. She just disappeared. Alex spent months replaying every conversation in his head, every joke, every compliment, every sentence. He kept asking himself, where did I go wrong? But here's the truth. Alex didn't do anything wrong. He just met someone who didn't know how to communicate like an adult. Psychologists say ghosting is a form of emotional escape. When a person feels uncomfortable, overwhelmed, bored, guilty, or unsure, their brain looks for the easiest way out, and silence feels easier than honesty. According to research published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships, people who ghost often score high in emotional avoidance and low in emotional responsibility. They struggle with direct communication. They fear difficult conversations. They don't know how to express disinterest in a healthy way. So instead of saying, I'm not feeling this anymore, they disappear. Because disappearing feels safer for them, but devastating for you. Your brain is not built to handle sudden silence. Humans are wired for connection. When someone vanishes without explanation, your mind treats it like danger. Your brain starts searching for answers. It creates stories. It assumes the worst. And most of those stories blame you. That's why ghosting hurts more than rejection. At least rejection gives closure. Ghosting leaves you stuck in limbo. A study from the University of Colorado found that uncertainty in relationships creates more anxiety than direct rejection. The brain prefers bad news over no news. When there's no explanation, your nervous system stays on high alert. That's why you keep checking your phone. That's why you replay conversations. That's why you can't sleep properly. Your brain is trying to make sense of the silence. Now let's talk about the real psychological reasons behind ghosting. The first reason is fear of confrontation. Many people are terrified of uncomfortable conversations. They don't know how to say no. They don't know how to disappoint someone, so they choose silence. The second reason is emotional immaturity. Some people love attention. They love connection. They love validation. But when things start getting real, they panic. Responsibility scares them, so they run. The third reason is the illusion of endless options. Dating apps and social media create a mindset where people think someone better is always one swipe away. So instead of fixing or ending a connection properly, they just move on. The fourth reason is avoidant attachment style. Psychologists describe this as a pattern where people fear emotional closeness. When someone gets too close, their brain triggers a threat response. They pull away. Ghosting becomes their escape button. And the fifth reason is lack of empathy. Some people simply don't think about how their actions affect others. They don't understand how painful silence can be. Now here's something important. Most people think ghosting is about attraction. It's not. It's about emotional capacity. Someone can like you and still ghost you. Someone can care and still disappear. Someone can feel a connection and still run. Because ghosting is not about feelings. It's about fear. Fear of hurting you. Fear of being honest. Fear of dealing with emotions. So they choose the coward's way out. Let me ask you something. Have you ever stared at your phone hoping for a reply that never came? Have you ever felt your heart drop when you saw seen, but no response? Have you ever blamed yourself for someone else's silence? If yes, you're not weak, you're human. Your brain is designed to bond. When that bond is suddenly cut, your nervous system reacts like it's under attack. That's why ghosting can destroy self-esteem. People start questioning their worth. They start doubting their value. They start building walls around their heart. One person's silence can change how you love forever. And that's why this topic matters. On PsychoScope, we don't just talk about psychology. We use it to protect your mind and your heart. In the next part, I'll show you what ghosting actually does to your brain, how it affects mental health, and why your emotional pain is completely real and valid. So stay with me, because understanding human behavior is the first step to never letting someone's silence break you again. Now let's go deeper, because to truly heal from ghosting, you need to understand what it actually does to your brain. When someone suddenly disappears from your life, your brain doesn't register it as a small event. It registers it as emotional danger. Neuroscientists have discovered that social rejection activates the same area of the brain as physical pain. That's why being ghosted can literally hurt in your chest. That heavy feeling, that sinking feeling, that pressure in your heart. It's not just sadness, it's your nervous system reacting to abandonment. A study from the University of Michigan found that sudden social disconnection creates a stress response similar to trauma. Your brain releases cortisol, the stress hormone. Your body goes into survival mode. That's why you feel restless. That's why you can't focus. That's why your appetite changes. That's why you keep checking your phone. Your brain is trying to restore the connection. But here's the cruel part. Ghosting gives your brain no ending, no explanation, no closure, no emotional resolution. So your mind stays stuck in a loop. What happened? Why did they leave? Will they come back? Was I not enough? This loop is what causes the real damage. A research paper published in the Journal of Experimental Psychology showed that uncertainty in relationships creates more anxiety than clear rejection. The brain prefers painful truth over endless guessing. Being told I'm not interested anymore hurts, but being ignored hurts more. Because when someone disappears, your brain keeps the door open. A tiny part of you keeps hoping, keeps waiting, keeps expecting their name to light up your screen, and every time it doesn't, the pain resets. That's why ghosting feels like heartbreak on repeat. Now let me tell you another real story. A girl named Emma met a guy at a mutual friend's party. They clicked instantly. Same humor, same mindset, same energy. He texted her the next day, then the next, then every night. They talked for hours. He told her she was different. He said he felt comfortable with her. He said he hadn't felt this way in a long time. Emma slowly let her guard down. Then one day he stopped replying. She waited. She told herself he was busy. She waited more. Days passed, weeks passed. He was still watching her stories, still online, still active, but he never replied. Emma didn't just lose a guy. She lost her sense of trust. She started questioning herself. She became emotionally closed. She stopped believing people's words. Every new connection felt temporary. This is what ghosting does. It doesn't just break your heart, it rewires how you love. Psychologists call this relationship trauma. When someone disappears without explanation, your brain associates intimacy with danger. It starts building walls. It becomes hyper-alert. It prepares for abandonment even when none exists. That's why after being ghosted, many people become distant. They don't open up easily. They expect everyone to leave. They stop trusting. And the worst part? They blame themselves. But here's what most people don't understand. Ghosting is not caused by your personality. Ghosting is not caused by your looks. Ghosting is not caused by your worth. Ghosting is caused by the other person's emotional limitations. Someone who knows how to communicate does not disappear. Someone who respects you does not vanish. Someone who is emotionally mature does not choose silence. So when someone ghosts you, it means one thing. They were not capable of showing up properly. Now let's talk about how you actually heal from this. The first step is acceptance. Not acceptance of what they did. Acceptance that they are not coming back. The brain heals when it gets clarity. You may never get answers from them, but you can give yourself closure. Closure is a decision. It's saying, I deserve better communication. It's saying, I won't chase someone who chose silence. It's saying, their behavior is not my identity. The second step is stopping the waiting. Waiting keeps the wound open. Waiting keeps hope alive. Waiting keeps you stuck. Delete the chat, mute their profile, remove the trigger, not because you're weak, because you're protecting your peace. The third step is rebuilding your self-worth. Ghosting attacks your confidence. It makes you feel replaceable. It makes you feel invisible. So you have to remind yourself, I showed up with honesty. I showed up with intention. I showed up with respect. That makes me strong. The fourth step is changing your perspective. Instead of asking, why did they leave me? Ask, why would I want someone who couldn't even say goodbye? This mindset shift is powerful. It puts your power back in your hands. On PsychoScope, we believe that emotional intelligence is your strongest weapon. When you understand human behavior, you stop taking things personally. You stop blaming yourself for other people's fears. And when you grow emotionally, ghosting loses its power over you, because confident people don't chase disappearing acts. In the final part, I'll show you real strategies that actually work. How to protect your heart, how to spot ghosters early, and how to build relationships that don't leave you questioning your worth. So stay with me, because your peace is too valuable to be destroyed by someone who didn't have the courage to communicate. Now let's talk about how you move forward stronger than before. Because the goal is not just to survive ghosting, the goal is to become emotionally untouchable. The first thing you need to understand is this. Ghosting doesn't happen randomly. There are always signs. The problem is, most people ignore them because they're emotionally invested. Hot and cold behavior. Long gaps between replies. Avoiding serious conversations. Only talking when it's convenient for them. Keeping things surface level for too long. These are not mystery signals. These are warning signs. When someone is emotionally available, they don't confuse you. They don't disappear for days. They don't leave you guessing where you stand. Consistency is attraction. Clarity is respect. Effort is interest. So if someone is giving you mixed signals, believe their actions, not their words. The second rule is simple but powerful. Never build emotional attachment to potential. Build it to behavior. Someone can have charm. Someone can have confidence. Someone can say all the right things. But if their actions don't match, their words are meaningless. People don't ghost out of nowhere. They ghost because they were never fully present. The third strategy is emotional pacing. Most people fall too fast. They create emotional fantasies. They imagine futures before a foundation is built. And when the person disappears, the crash feels 10 times harder. Strong connections are built slowly. Real trust takes time. Emotional safety is earned, not assumed. When you pace your emotions, you protect your heart. The fourth strategy is having a full life outside of one person. When someone becomes your only source of happiness, their silence feels like the end of the world. But when your life is full, their absence becomes a lesson, not a loss. Build friendships, chase goals, create routines, invest in yourself. The stronger your life is, the weaker ghosting becomes. The fifth strategy is standards, not expectations. Standards. Expectations hope people behave well. Standards require it. If someone disappears, you don't chase. If someone disrespects your time, you walk away. If someone can't communicate, you move on. Because self-respect is more attractive than desperation. And here's the biggest truth most people never realize. Being ghosted is not rejection, it's redirection. It's life removing someone who couldn't walk beside you properly. The right people stay, the right people explain, the right people show up. Love is not confusing, interest is not silent, care is not invisible. So when someone disappears from your life without a word, let them go without chasing them. Your dignity is louder than their silence. One day you'll look back and realize that the person who ghosted you wasn't your loss. They were your lesson. They taught you what emotional immaturity looks like. They taught you what avoidance looks like. They taught you what you will never accept again. And because of them, you will choose better. On PsychoScope, we believe that understanding psychology is not about controlling people. It's about protecting your peace. It's about knowing when to walk away. It's about choosing yourself. It's about building emotional strength. If this video helped you, if it made you feel understood, or if it gave you clarity about your own experience, write a comment below. Share your story. You never know who might read it and realize they're not alone. And if you know someone who's dealing with ghosting right now, share this video with them. It might be exactly what they need to hear. Stay strong, stay aware, and remember, silence is not your enemy. It's your filter. This is PsychoScope, and I'll see you in the next one.